Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with the third video on the 5x5 grid anime community event. So this one is going to be the third video. There's been two videos made before this. I went through 8 submissions including mine. So yeah, and this is the third video. I think I might be able to do 4 more today, and then the next video will probably be the final one. Like I have like 15 submissions, I think, or something like that. So yeah, let us get started then. All right, so we have got quite a few good amounts of like anime, like digital media, like anything like games, light novels, manga, anime. Quite a few good submissions, and every single one of them up until now was very good. Let's see what we get in this video. All right, so we will be resume. God damn it. I don't know what happened. My voice broke for a moment. We will be resuming with this one. This is, I think this one. Yeah, I already did this one. So from here, this is from T. Okay, and I will first read this, and then I'm going to go to the picture. All right, anime Mob Psycho, Katanagatari, Monogatari, Gintama, Code Geass, AOT, Madoka Magica, Evangelion, Steins Gate, Ping Pong the Animation, Made in Abyss, Gurren Lagann, and then we have manga Dragon Ball, Chainsaw Man, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Berserk, One Piece, Games Near Automata, and Fate Stay Night visual novel, and non-anime shows, movies or books. Oh, okay, so obviously I mentioned that obviously I'm doing like all anime style, like related anime and games, basically that anime is like like anime-ish type of things, like light novel, manga, all those things, visual novels, gacha games, and games like Western games, JRPGs, all that stuff. So I mentioned that like the non-anime shows, like movies, books, all these stuff won't really be included, but you've included a few here. I'm going to read them. I doubt I've seen most of them because I don't really read that many books or like watch that many movies. So let me just read it. Breaking Bad, Whiplash, The Godfather, okay, Shawshank Redemption, Blood Meridian, and No Longer Human. Oh, No Longer Human, damn. Okay. Yeah, I recognize a few of them. Obviously, I recognize Breaking Bad, Godfather, Shawshank Redemption, and No Longer Human. But obviously, me being completely not into in all of these things, I won't really be able to judge this. So like if anyone wants to discuss something about this, you can do it in the comments. But right, so these are the non-anime like shows, movies. However, the anime ones are here. It's a very solid list. I saw, and I could I could kind of agree with every single one of them, like more or less. So let's start. Obviously there's a few like empty spots because I'm assuming you didn't have anything to put. So the first one is Nier Automata. Yeah, I myself put it on my list, so obviously this is 100%. I agree with this, and yeah, it's a solid game. I think like Nier Automata is very difficult to top Nier Automata as a storytelling like game. So yeah, it's amazing. There's very few storytelling games that I can think of which has like really good action, like battles and stuff, really good gameplay, also a really amazing story. Nier Automata is probably one of the top ones. Like that's why I'm saying it's quite difficult to top Nier Automata in that department, at least. Because there's a lot of games I've seen and I've played which has amazing story, maybe even better than Nier Automata, but the gameplay falls in that department. There's not proper gameplay. So as a whole package, I would love to say that yeah, Nier Automata is probably near the top. There's a few others that I can think of that can match Nier Automata. So yeah, Nier Automata is automatically a yes for me. So there you go. Then we have Mob Psycho. Okay, Mob Psycho, yeah, it's an amazing show. Wait, did you put it under anime or manga? Let me check. Anime, yeah, okay. It's an amazing show, and it's completed as well. Obviously, we just got the final season, and yeah, even though I haven't really put it on my list, it's a good show. I can appreciate a good Mob Psycho in this list, and yeah, so that's nice. I've talked about Mob Psycho before. Like anything like, you know, like the author of Mob Psycho and One Punch Man, I think his name is One or something like that, does is absolutely amazing. You know, like I've watched One Punch Man. It's amazing. Mob Psycho was absolutely fantastic. So, you know, I'm actually excited to see more of One Punch Man now, because we're going to get a new sequel very soon. Since I don't really read that much manga, I haven't really read the manga, so I'm looking forward to that. But Mob Psycho, obviously, you know, a great show. Yeah. Then we have Katanagatari. Now, I've always wanted to watch Katanagatari, because I think Katanagatari is another, you know, like another story done by Nisio Isin, isn't it? I think so. Yeah. So I've always wanted to watch Katanagatari, but I never got the time to do it. So, you know, I cannot really say anything about this because I haven't watched it myself. But from the others I've heard it's quite good. You know, I don't know if it's good enough to be on a top list, but I can see obviously you like it enough to put it in your top list. So I'm assuming it's really good. However, I myself cannot really say much about it. So yeah. Right. Then we have Monogatari. Yeah, definitely. Like, you don't need to ask. Yes, definitely. I've talked about it a lot in the other videos as well. So I'm not going to, you know, say anything here. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, there you go, Monogatari. Then we have Gintama. Yeah, again, absolutely amazing. A show that I started a bit late. You know, everyone has watched Gintama by the time I started it, but I still enjoyed it a lot. It was still quite a while ago, you know. I'm saying like, you know, I started late, but it was still quite a while ago that I watched it. Like at least 4 to 5 years ago, I've started watching Gintama and I completed it, you know. But still, it was quite late compared to a lot of other people who have already watched Gintama. Like Gintama has been going on for a long time. So in that sense, I started quite late, but you know, I am so glad that I watched it, because oh boy, it has been an amazing experience watching Gintama. This show has everything, like literally everything. Okay, then we yeah, I can definitely agree with this. Then we have Code Geass. Again, haven't watched it. Probably the only big or major show that I haven't watched. I've watched, I feel like, most of the major shows except a few here and there that I personally don't really, you know, like watch, because you know, like I don't really like those type of genres. However, you know, like Code Geass is a show that I've always thought like I need to watch, and after starting anime reactions as well, I've thought like I wanted to react to it, but I've never got the time or the, you know, like yeah, like I didn't get enough time to even react to it. If I probably watch it in the future, it'll probably be in reaction mode, because like honestly speaking, I don't get enough time to watch old anime nowadays. I'm just filled up with the seasonal animes every single season, you know. And so the old good ones that I've always at the back of my list just stays there. It never comes up unless and until I start reacting to it. I never like go back to old shows nowadays. So it's just, you know, yeah. So if I watch it someday, it'll probably be in reaction, you know, mode, because unless and until I react to it, I don't think I'll ever be able to watch Code Geass, because I don't have the time. But yeah. Anyways, so like I was saying, I cannot really say much about it, but obviously I've heard like every single people have praised this a lot. So you know, I can accept this here, you know, and I can probably say, even though I haven't watched it, that it's really good. From the other people, from what I've heard from other people. Next, Attack on Titan. Yes, this is a show that obviously took the world by storm. It still is extremely popular even after it ended, and I'm sure it'll stay popular at least 20-30 years later even. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Attack on Titan was the anime that made anime mainstream in a big way, you know. Like there's a few animes that made anime mainstream. I feel like Attack on Titan has a huge role to play in it. And obviously it is an amazing show, you know, no doubt about it. Yeah, like a lot of things that Attack on Titan, you know, deals with and goes through is absolutely, like, I don't know what to say. I've not really seen much anime and manga do that. You know, it seems like a show where it's like, oh, revenge, fight, you know, titans, get revenge, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, if you properly watch it and try to understand, it is a lot of underlying, you know, like thoughts that has been put into it. So yeah, it's a fantastic show. However, I myself would say this: I loved Attack on Titan. However, it's not that high that I would put it on my top list, at least, you know. Like, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing show, and I 100% agree with um you know, with the common sentiment that yeah, this is one of the top shows. I can agree with it. However, personally, you know, I would probably not put it on my top list. You know, it is there. It is probably there. You know, like at the very top part of my list, but not like the top 10 or anything like that. I wouldn't really put Attack on Titan there because personally, you know, like it didn't really, I don't know, like resonate with me. You know, by the end of it, it was a really good show though. But you know, like sometimes happens. A lot of good shows, people watch it, but you know, like they kind of get into a show which they never expect. It's kind of like that, and you know, even though it's so popular, I loved it, but I couldn't really say that, oh, this is like the top show. But yeah, obviously I can accept Attack on Titan in the list because it has, you know, it is that important to, like, you know, like as an anime, like in every single way it's very important. It's one of those shows. Right. And yeah, so there you go, Attack on Titan. Yeah, agree with it. Even though it's probably not on my list, it isn't in my list and probably will not be. Next, we have Madoka Magica. Yeah, I can agree with this one as well. It's not on my list though, but I can agree with Madoka Magica being here because of how, I don't know, interesting it is. It's how unique it is. You nobody expect seeing, like, you know, you see this picture, you expect to see some, I don't know, like some slice of lifey things, like I don't know, like the girls having fun, you know, like playing around and just, you know, I don't know, like, you know, just normal things, cutesy things. And oh my god, what you what you get from it is depression. And insanity. That's what you get from it. It's crazy. It's just, you know, like it's just absolutely insane. Like I remember I watched Madoka Magica and I was like, why do people watch this? When I started it, and then I realized from, I think it was the third episode, why do people watch it? And I'm like, damn, okay, right, that's why. But yeah, by the end of it, you know, Madoka Magica also goes through, like, you know, this is the thing. I really love shows which go through like time travel shenanigans. You know, I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of people loves those type of shows. You know, so I feel like Madoka Magica would be just a good show to me if it didn't have those, you know, like the time travel shenanigans. As soon as they got introduced with the whole Homura situation, and you know, I was like, damn, this is really good. So as soon as the whole time travel thing got included, I was like, wow, this is just amazing, you know, and it instantly like shot up in my rankings. So yeah, I can definitely agree with Madoka Magica being here. Next, we have Evangelion. Yeah, I've talked about it before. Evangelion is fantastic. You know, another show which is, you know, if I would say that Attack on Titan made anime mainstream, had a good part on making many anime mainstream, I would say Evangelion was the start of everything. You know, it is the start of like anime as a medium. You know, I think, at least that's what I think. And yeah, Evangelion is just, and obviously the story is good. You know, it does, you do need to think about it a bit, and sometimes you don't understand what the hell is going on. Even after ending the show, you probably don't understand what's going on. But you know, overall, I feel like the things that it, you know, like tackles the stuff is done very well, and it has the whole mystery and, you know, like that kind of thing going on, suspense thriller kind of thing. So yeah, fantastic. Even though I don't really like mecha animes and stuff, you know, Evangelion was fantastic, because it didn't really focus on that. It focused on a lot of other things which was so much more entertaining and interesting, you know, than plain old mecha fighting. Like, this is the thing, I am like, you know, I don't really like mecha shows. You know, I can see the craze behind it, you know, like robots transforming, like, you know, like just fusing together to make a bigger robot, and, you know, like fighting. I can see that, and I know Japan is crazy about mechas. They're crazy, you know, absolutely insane amounts of popularity. However, I feel like I'm one of the few people who doesn't really like mecha. But like I said, Evangelion is a show that obviously does have mecha, but it is way more, like, it is something way more different than just mecha. So, you know, I loved it, that's why. So there you go. Yeah, I can agree with this being here. Steins Gate, definitely, I talked about Steins Gate before. Any type of time travel, like, you know, like stuff going on in any show, it always becomes my favorite. And Steins Gate is probably one of those shows that nails it perfectly. The time travel aspect in Steins Gate is absolutely fantastically done, and more so if you read the visual novel. They literally, I remember in the anime they skipped that part where like Rintaro, when he, like, the very first few episodes where he goes to the Nakamachi's like conference, and he was like, what the hell is this? This is, this is John Titus, like thing. And then later when Kurisu comes in and he challenges Kurisu, when Kurisu says, I guess, impossible theoretically to prove, like, time travel happens and all that, he was like, oh, like, I challenge you. And then Kurisu completely just destroys him. It was just one scene, I think, like 5 to 10 second scene, like a little bit of they showed. In the visual novel, Kurisu literally stands there and teaches you time travel. She literally talks about everything related to time travel, like wormhole theory, to everything, every single thing, And I remember I at least spent, I don't know, like 1 to 2 hours in not 2 hours, 2 hours a bit too much, I feel like. At least like 1 hour on that section, trying to understand what the hell she is saying. Like, like searching Wikipedia to see the terms, what she meant by those. And, people who like these type of things will absolutely love that. And people who probably don't like it, they'll probably skip that part. But at least I enjoyed it immensely. And, obviously I can understand, anime, they have time constraints, so they skip that part. So like this, there's a lot of things in the visual novel that is done so well. I was just baffled by it. So yeah, Steins Gate definitely, like, the anime is fantastic. The visual novel is even more fantastic. So it gets a instant seal of approval from me. Next is Ping Pong the animation. Now I've heard this is very good, and like, I never really had my eye on this because it was like, literally the title is Ping Pong the animation. I was like, ping pong, okay, I'm not really interested in it. But I've heard it is done by the same person who's the author of Tatami Galaxy. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I might check it out in the future, who knows. But just because it's done by the same person as Tatami Galaxy was fantastic. It was absolutely insane. So yeah, but I cannot really speak about it now because I haven't really watched it. But I've heard it's very good, and I can see it being in someone's top list. Okay, next is Dragon Ball. Wait, I think manga you said. Yep. Dragon Ball. I cannot really say anything. I haven't read the manga or watched the anime. And I think I've mentioned this before, but the only thing like Dragon Ball I've watched is Dragon Ball Z from Frieza's battle. When Goku becomes Super Saiyan. From that part to I have seen up until the beginning of Buu Saga, and then Buu Saga I remember playing it in I don't know, way back in the day using an emulator, like a what is it called, like a Nintendo game or some, not Nintendo game, it's like some kind of a Game Boy game, I think. Using an emulator I played it, and it had like the story in it, and I do know, I haven't watched Buu Saga, but I do know what happens in it. That's why, because I literally like played out the whole story. I know what happens to Buu, Mr. Satan's friendship with Buu and how it like evolves, and then Buu's transformation, the fusion, Vegito, Gogeta, all those things I know. I know the story, but I haven't really watched it. I've only watched up until the beginning of Buu Saga, and then that, then like the final battle and all that stuff. Then then the other Buu arrives, the one who's friends with Mr. Satan. All those things I know, but that's just it. And then I haven't. So it's a weird type of situation for me. Dragon Ball, I do know quite a few things about it, but at the same time I haven't watched it properly. So so I cannot really say much. Dragon Ball I have no idea. From Z I do know a little bit. I know nothing about Dragon Ball, so I cannot really say anything. But I can appreciate Dragon Ball because it's so iconic, and even without watching it, I could say that it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, next is Chainsaw Man. Again, I think you said manga. Yeah, Chainsaw Man. Yeah, all of these are manga up until One Piece. Okay, so right, Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I don't have it on my list, but I can agree with Chainsaw Man because the author is Tatsuya Fujimoto. I've read for a few of his work, even though I'm not really I've just watched Chainsaw Man up until the anime aired. I've read a lot of his works, like Look Back, Sayonara Eddie, and a lot of the other one shots that he did. And oh my god, this author knows how to write a story. And like that's why I'm always like, whenever like Tatsumi, when I realize like, oh, this is Tatsumi Fujimoto, I'm like, okay, I'm instantly interested, even though I haven't really read it or watched it. I know this person like can do something. If you just watch, I feel like Sayonara Eddie and Look Back, these two are the only two mangas that you need to read if you want to understand Tatsumi Fujimoto's genius, like how good he is. These two can like immediately you'll understand. There's a lot of other one shots as well that I absolutely loved. I was like, you don't know what to expect from this guy. He cooks up some weird things in his head, and I'm all for it. I'm like, damn, this is something I've never seen in anything. So even though I haven't read Chainsaw Man, I've only watched up until the anime has aired. I know there's something in this show or the manga that'll probably make me like it. So I can see Chainsaw Man being here. Yeah. Then we have JoJo. I think this is is this part 7? After Stone Ocean, is this, what is it called? I forgot. Steel Ball Run? Is this Steel Ball Run? I don't know. I haven't read the manga or anything. I've only watched JoJo up until the anime has aired, and I feel like it's just a matter of time that all of the other sequels get an adaptation. Yeah. Now, if this is Steel Ball Run, I'm not 100% sure if this is Steel Ball Run. I've heard from a lot of people that Steel Ball Run is the best or something like that. Like every single person I've like seen talking about JoJo, every single person has said that Steel Ball Run is the best part of JoJo. So I'm very excited whenever it's going to get adapted. Like I said, I'm not even sure if this is Steel Ball Run. If it is, then I can see why it is here. But yeah, there you go. Next, Berserk. Yeah, obviously Berserk. I can see it being here, even though I myself haven't read it. I can see Berserk being here. Now, this is the thing. You know why I haven't read Berserk? It's because I know it's good, but I know a few things that happen. A lot of the things that happens in this show is a bit too much for me, and I won't be able to. I don't know, like I won't be able to stomach it in that sense, because I do know a few things that happens in this. Berserk is famous. So even if you don't want to, you sometimes hear about a few stuff here and there on social media and stuff. So I do know a few things, and I realized like I probably shouldn't read it, because yeah, like it's amazing. I can say, I can probably say that it's probably on the same level as Vinland Saga, Vagabond. People always compare, like Vinland Saga, Vagabond, and Berserk all at the same place. They probably always put these three in the same place. And I absolutely love Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is my favorite. So I can see, like this being on the same level. However, I know I won't be able to stomach it. A few of the things makes me queasy, and that is exactly why there's so many mangas and not animes, I would say, most probably mangas that are absolutely fantastic, but I haven't read it. For example, Oyasumi Punpun. I talked about this in one of the previous videos. I said how a few of the things, like most of the things in Oyasumi Punpun, which I do know kind of what exactly happens, I wouldn't be able to stomach it. So I've never read it, even though I've heard it's so good. And I feel like Berserk is also kind of the same. It might be absolutely legendary, but I won't be able to stomach a few things. That's why I've never read it. Like that's the only reason for me not reading Berserk. So yeah, but yeah, I can definitely say Berserk deserves to be here, even though I haven't read it. Next we have One Piece. Again, I've not watched or read One Piece. I've heard people say that the manga is way, 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 way better than the anime. And I've also heard quite a bit of good things about the anime. So I can only imagine how good the manga is. The manga is absolutely, probably fantastic. Like even if it's even better than the anime, then I could only imagine. And like I said, I watched the first 100 episodes of One Piece. It was really good. I really loved it. So I could only imagine how good the manga is, because people say the manga is way better than the anime. Because I've seen a lot of people, whenever I seeing in social media, a lot of people say like, oh, is One Piece good? And people who have read One Piece, they say like, yeah, it's good, but read the manga instead of watching the anime. It's way better. And a lot of people say that. I've seen that. So yeah, I can only imagine. But yeah, One Piece, like I can accept it being here again. Made in Abyss, yeah, like definitely, it's a very interesting show. Like quite different from the norm, but it's quite very good. It's actually very good. It's one of my personal favorites as well. I haven't really put it in any of the what can I say in my top list, but it's fantastic, absolutely great. Yeah, so I can accept it being here. Fate Stay Night, um, yeah, visual novel, obviously, definitely agree 100%. Fate Stay Night was, and when it came out, yeah, and it still is really good. It's getting a remake, so I can only imagine how good it'll be after the remake. And the thing is, like, these type moon novels, it's not only a remake, they actually do a few things in a, like, add a few things. For example, in Tsukihime remake, I do know a lot of new stuff have been added there, and things. So I can't wait for when that will come to PC. I don't know if it's ever going to. But yeah, it's just, like they don't like not only do a remake, they actually properly remakes it, like, add stuff and everything. So I've heard that the Stay Night novel as well, they're probably remaking it like properly, they'll be adding more stuff. So I'm very excited for when it gets a release. And I do know this is actually getting a PC release, as far as I know, on Steam. So at least I don't have to count my days and pray to God that it's getting a PC release. I don't have consoles, man. Like, really. Like, I want a proper PC release for these games. There's a lot of. It probably isn't. I was going to say there's a lot of PC, like, players who play visual novels on PC. There probably isn't. I don't think anyone plays visual novel on PC. Like me and a few other people. But I don't have consoles. What can I do? And I don't plan on buying consoles either. But like PC is everything that I need. I have a good, like, high-end PC, and I'm happy with that. So it's just I don't know what to say, man. Like, at least this is a confirmed release on PC. I'm glad about that. Instead, and Tsukihime remake, I'm just like praying to God, counting my days, and being like, when it's going. I'm sure it's going to get a PC release, but it's probably going to happen later. Like, oh God. Anyways, I went on a tangent here, but yeah, definitely Fate Stay Night, yes. Um, and then we have Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. Now, I haven't really. Wait, is this anime? Or did you put manga? I don't even know if it has a manga or not. Anime, I'm pretty sure, yeah. And Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, yeah, I myself have watched it, but like, it's quite good, but I wouldn't really put it on my top list. I know a lot of people absolutely love Gurren Lagann, and it's like one of their top shows. For me, it wasn't really, like, I'm like, okay, it's okay for me. So there you go. Yeah, that was actually a very solid list. I could really, like, it's like, what? Let me count the ones that I can 100% say, like, yeah, like, it's just like my, like, expectation. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Damn, and you also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. You haven't even, like, you haven't really filled up the whole thing. So I could only imagine if you had enough anime to put it here. I could only imagine, I would have loved even more of the stuff you put in. So, this was actually a very good list. You know, even though it's not fully filled up, it was very good. Um, okay, now let me think. Where should I put you? You know what? I need to go back up for a moment. Let me just go back up. I need to check something. This is 6, 7. Oh, damn. Okay, okay. Wow, okay. Even with, all right, you know what? Even though you didn't really fill up the list, your list is actually pretty damn solid. I could only imagine you probably would have gotten a higher ranking if you had enough animes and other stuff to put in. But just because you haven't really, I'm going to put you in third place. See, you probably would have gotten second place if I had a few others here. you know, just because of that, you went to the third place. But that was a pretty solid list, and you have really good taste. So, yeah, amazing. Alright, let's go to the next person. Who is this? Oh, it's Sruthin, isn't it? Alright. Oh my god, I can only imagine. Oh boy, I do know Sruthin's test, so it probably will be at the lower part of my list. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe this is a surprise. You've surprised me this time. Let me read. Anime: One Piece, Fairy Tail, Eminence in Shadow, Heavy Object. What? Right. Okay. Heaven's Lost Property. Okay. Haikyuu. Okay, I wasn't expecting Haikyuu in your list. Okay. Yoka. Okay. Amagi Brilliant Park. Okay. Danmachi. Nice. Bleach. Strike the Blood. Okay. Novel. A Certain Magical Index. Now, okay. You know what? I'm going to talk about it later. Let me just read it first. High School DxD. Oh, novel. Okay. Data Life. Okay. No Game, No Life. Problem Children. Oh, that one show. Okay. Infinite Dendrogram. Campion. Death March to the Parallel World. Manga. One Punch Man. Visual novel Fate Stay Night. Video games Elden Ring. Damn, I wasn't expecting to see Elden Ring in your list. Fate Grand Order. Toho. Okay. You know what? I was actually expecting, there's quite a few good things in here. I am pleasantly surprised. All right, let's go through everything. First is One Piece. I've said this like every single time. Like One Piece, I can agree with One Piece being here, even though I haven't read it. So yeah, instant approval. What is this? Oh, Fairy Tail. Okay, I'll be honest about Fairy Tail. It is just, what can I say? It's a show that I've watched when I started anime. I think I said this before. I started with Naruto, and then I went through all the other shows. That's how I started it. And Fairy Tail was one of them. So I watched Naruto, I watched Bleach, I think, and I then watched Fairy Tail, or something like that I did. Or maybe I watched Fairy Tail first. I don't remember. Anyways, so it is always, like it has a special place in my heart, Fairy Tail being one of the shows that I first watched. But more and more I'm watching anime, more and more I'm realizing the problems that Fairy Tail had, especially the ending part. The first part is actually quite okay. I really liked it. A few of the things I absolutely loved. For example, I've said this before in this video only. I've said anything that has time travel becomes my instant favorite. Fairy Tail has that. The whole time travel shenanigans happens there. Parallel world time travel and stuff happens. You might be surprised. People who haven't watched Fairy Tales, they're probably like, wait, what? This show has time travel and parallel worlds? Yeah, it does have it. I feel like Hiro Mashima is a huge fan of like science fictional elements like this, because Eden Zero is literally based on traveling space and time travel and parallel world shenanigans. So I feel like if he focused on that, he would have done a very good job. But because his time travel stuff is very interesting. Actually, he has quite a few a good way of depicting that. So that is why Fairy Tail, those special arcs especially which had like parallel worlds and time travel. For example, the Edolus arc, the what's it called? The Eclipse arc, I think that was it called. Yeah, those were one of my absolute favorite arcs in Fairy Tail. I absolutely loved it, and that's why I'm saying the first half of Fairy Tail was actually quite solid. And then I don't know what happened in the final half. They just I don't know, like it just fell completely, dropped down, especially the last few episodes. I was like, what is going on? So anyways, so that's why Fairy Tail has a very complicated situation, at least in my list. I would probably not put it on my top list, but I am quite fond of it, especially because of those reasons. And yeah, so I wouldn't really put it in my top list, but okay, I can see you like it, so there you go. Then we have Eminence in Shadow. Okay, wait, manga, isn't it? No. Oh, wait. Oh, no, no. Eminence in Shadow has a novel. Okay, okay. Right. Yeah. It went out of my head. Okay. I cannot really say anything about the novel because I haven't read it. But the little that I've watched of for the anime is Eminence in Shadow is, quite, what can I say? It's like it's a show that takes itself quite casually, which makes it so good. Like it is like a collection of tropes, and I know the author knows exactly what he's doing, and he deliberately puts in those tropes as a comedic, thing. Like, you can just, after watching the show, you can realize that the author is just, making like a whole ass parody kind of thing, and just, like, having fun with all these tropes, and just sliding those tropes to the max. So I can appreciate a show that knows what it's doing, and that can have fun with the pre-existing tropes and just go ham with it. I can appreciate an author like that, and a story like that. So Emerson Shadow is a story or a show which is really good just because it doesn't take itself seriously. So in that sense, I do like it, but I wouldn't really put it on my top list. But I can see a few people have this on their top list. And I do know Sruthin loves Eminence in Shadow. And yeah, but I wouldn't really put it on my top list. Now I have no idea what this is. What is this? Wait, did you put it chronologically? One Piece, Fatal. Yeah, you did put it. Thank you for that. Heavy Object. I think. Okay, I think I've heard this before. I never watched it because it had such a low rating on my anime list. I just skipped it. What? You know what? Let me check. What is this about? Heavy Object. All right. No, it has a really good. Oh, never mind. I was mixing this up with something else. No, it has a really good rating. Okay, never mind. I take that back. Right. Let me read it. In distant future, the nature of war has changed. Objects, massive spherical tanks, impermeable to standard weaponry and armed with destructive firepower, rule the battlefield. Their very deployment ensures victory, rendering traditional armies useless. However, in this new method of warfare is about to be turned on its head. Quenther Barbotage. What is this name? Quenther Barbotage, a student studying object design, and Javier Winchell, a radar analyst of noble birth, serving the legitimate kingdom's 37th Mobile Maintenance Battalion, tasked with supporting the baby Magnum, one of the nation's objects. Unfortunately, a battle gone already passes the two in precarious situation. Main infantry stand face to face against the unfathomable might of an enemy object. As they scramble to save themselves and their fellow soldiers, a glimmer of hope shines through the world's perception of objects is changed forever. Heavy Object follows the two soldiers alongside Melinda Brantini, the baby Magnum's pilot, and their commanding officer Frolita Capistrano. Okay. As the unit treks all over the globe to fight battle after battle, facing one impossible situation after the other, they must summon all the wit and courage to overcome the insurmountable foes that are objects. Yeah, it's intriguing. Okay. Okay, you know what? I didn't really know that. I thought that it was like I don't know what I thought. Like, there was another like anime, I think, like this, which had like a 5 rating or something. I think I mixed that up with this one. Yeah, probably. So, but I can see it has like a 7 rating. So, it's. Oh, this is the same author as Toaru Majitsu Index. Okay, I see. Yeah, that's why I was looking at these characters and I was like, wait, these characters remind me of like a magical index characters. Okay, so right. You know what? I won't really comment on this because I haven't watched the anime or have I read the novel. I have no idea what to expect from this. So I won't really comment on this. But you put it in your top list, so I'm assuming it's good. Yeah, but I won't comment on this. I have no idea. That's why. Okay, next is Oh, so Sorano Toshimono or Heaven's Lost Property. Yeah, I have watched this back when I started anime. I was like going through anime like I don't know, like just one after the other, consuming them, and I watched it then. Um, Wait, is this anime or have you put it under anime? I'm guessing. Yeah, Heaven's Lost Property. Yeah, it's yeah, kind of right. I don't know. I wouldn't really put it on my top list, but I guess you like it, so it's okay. Next we have Haikyuu. I have no idea about Haikyuu. I've not really watched it, but I've heard a lot of people say a lot of good things about it. A lot of people are crazy about Haikyuu. I do know it has a very solid fan base. So, seeing how solid of a fan base it has, I'm assuming it's quite good. So, anime, I'm guessing. Yeah. So yeah, again, I cannot really speak much about it. Hyoka. You know what? Yeah, I can agree with Hyoka being here. Hyoka is amazing. It has only one season. I've watched it back when it aired, and like I said, Hyoka, Kyo Annie's animation and Hyoka's story both did a really good job. And like it's still like Hyoka is still one of the most visually pleasing animes, even up until this date. With the crazy Wit Studio Mappa animations coming out. Hyoka holds that position. I still think it's absolutely beautiful. This show, if you watch it, it's just visually so much pleasing to you. Yeah, KyoAni is something. Kyoto animation is something, and yeah, it's just we never got a second season. That's the problem about this. Who knows? Maybe like the thing is nowadays we're actually getting some sequels of show which we never expected. Like Kimi no Todoke is getting a sequel, and a few others. For example, what's the name? Blue Exorcist. Who the hell expected Blue Exorcist to get not only another sequel but another one, like two sequels back to back? Like they just stopped airing that after like I think like in 2015 or something like that, and then suddenly in 2024, like two seasons back to back. I'm like, what's going on? So who knows? Maybe suddenly someday it'll be announced that Hyoka's getting a season 2. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it's good. I like it. I can agree with Hyoka being here. Amagi Brilliant Park. Again, I've watched it. I don't really remember anything about this show. All I remember are these plushies. Like one of these plushies I remember was an absolute menace. This one, I think. And I do know them like in a theme park doing some stuff, and and there was like a princess in the theme park. It was a very intriguing, like like a premise. Even though I don't remember it, it was like all over the place. The whole premise. There was like fairies and stuff, and like weird things going on. But yeah, I'm assuming anime you have put, yeah. But since it only has one season, I wouldn't really put it on my list because like one season is too less to put something in your top list, in my opinion. If this was like, if you like read the novel or something, I could probably be like, yeah, maybe it actually is so good. But one season anime, I don't think, yeah, like in your top list, one season animes are, unless or until that season is absolutely fantastic. Like I said, for Hyoka, for example. But yeah. Anyways, okay, I wouldn't put it on my list, but all right. Next is Danmachi. Now, Danmachi is a show that is actually quite, I don't know, again, close to my heart, because I played the game, and in the game they actually brought out like the original author. They put out a lot of like stories that wasn't in the anime, and those stories made the Danmachi world even more, I don't know, like entertaining for me. There was a few, like there was the whole Argonaut story in the game Danmachi Memoria Freeze that they put. Like the gacha game in itself was not good at all. It was just plain old gacha game, just like auto battle, like every single patch you're getting 2 or 3 characters. It was quite generous though with its like premium currency, but it was just very meh, the whole game. But I purely played the game for the story that the author used to put there, and I remember reading Argonaut's story in the game, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then came out a few others, and then I kind of dropped the game for a while, so I missed a few of the other original stories that the author put in there, which I've heard is equally good. And then I again started playing it, and I remember like another original story came out which like delved more into the actual world, the world building. It talked about Zeus, Hera, then Belle's mother, Belle's aunt, you know all of these characters they kind of talked about. And again, I was fascinated. I absolutely loved those. Like they introduced so many level 7, 8 characters, I remember, in the game, in Memoria Freeze. And so that is why I feel like that probably made me love the story even more. you know and even though Danmachi has its problems, it is very close to my heart, and I can 100% accept Danmachi being here. Yeah. Probably because I'm a little bit biased towards this. I played the game, and I do know a few stories which makes Bell and his whole story so much more interesting. Because in the I don't know if that happens in the novel or the anime, will it happen? But in the game, like, they actually delve so much deeper into Bell's past life, him as Argonaut, a lot of other characters, and him being a true hero. Then from there we also get to see more about Bell's family and all that. Like Bell's aunt and like Bell's mother, all these things we get to know more about. So it's just, I don't know, that's why I'm probably a bit biased towards it, but I can accept Danmachi being here. Right, and then we have Warino Seraph. You know what? I watched the anime. When I watched the anime, I did quite like it. Warino Seraph was quite good. But again, it has like 1 or 2 seasons. I think, and I don't think it's enough to be put on the top list. It was quite a good show. I myself quite enjoyed it. But I won't probably put it on my top list. So there you go. Next is Bleach. I can 100% agree with Bleach being here, because I feel like out of the shonen shows, Bleach is obviously shonen, but it has a very interesting way. Like the story is actually very interesting. It's not only like, oh, fight, new enemy, fight, not like that. Like, I feel like Bleach's twists that it puts in the story, I absolutely love it. They have, like, obviously, like, I'm sure everyone knows, like, the few of the twists that were shown in Bleach, the whole thing with Aizen, Gin, in the ending part, and the whole Quincy Hollow situation, like Ichigo's past, Ichigo's, like, origin, Ichigo's parents' identity, all those things. There's a lot of twists here and there, and overall, and everything else, like, the storytelling, the power system and everything is very good as well. And now that Bleach has come back with the 1,000 Years Blood War, it's popping off again, and it's as good as ever. So I can 100% agree with Bleach being here. Probably, usually I don't really watch that many shonen shows, except one, few here and there, a few that are, I've watched from the very beginning, like Naruto and all that. But Bleach is probably one of those shonen shows that, even though I don't really like the whole shonen formula, Bleach does it in a very good way, and I can appreciate Bleach being the show that it is. It has its shonen elements, obviously, but it has a few extra things in it as well, which makes it more entertaining for me. Yeah, so Bleach, I can 100% agree with. Strike the Blood, no. I cannot accept this. Wait, is it novel? Certain Magical. No, anime. Please, come on. Really? Strike the Blood? I don't know about the... If you put the novel or something, I probably would be like, okay, I haven't read the novel, I cannot say. The anime it's... Oh my god, it's one of the most basic things I've ever watched. The animation drops horribly. Like, this is... Like... I remember watching it when I watched it, and at that time I was like, okay, this is nice. But then I tried to revisit it back. I watched the animation, I'm like, what is this? Or something like that. And especially like the last few seasons, I think I've just like glanced it, and yeah, you know what? I'm not going to comment on it because I haven't properly watched it myself. But it's like one of the most basicest of it has so many tropes into it. It's absolutely crazy. The only thing I remember from Strike the Blood is that one line the girl says. What does she say? This is not your fight, senpai. This is our fight, or something like that. She said. It's an infamous line. Everyone says that. I remember it. It's a whole ass meme. But yeah, like, no, no, no. I at least I won't accept it. But you do you. you like it, then that's all well and good. Next is Magicino Index, Toru Magicino Index. Yeah, yeah. The okay, now I from here novel. Okay, so I cannot really say anything about the novel or the anime. I haven't watched either, but I've heard it's quite good from a lot of people. So I can be like, all right, I can, I can see it being here. Then we have High School Daisy novel. You put it under novel, I can see. So I haven't read the novel. I've watched the anime, like the first few seasons, I think. I don't really remember anything. But yeah, I wouldn't really put it in my top list. It won't really go anywhere near my top list. It's just one of those shows. But yeah, like, you know what? Again, you do you. Like, I cannot really, yeah, recommend it though. Data Life, I personally kind of like Data Life. It's quite nice. I like it, and I've heard the novel is actually quite good as well. Um, so yeah, I've only watched the anime. I think like the anime suffers from a lot of like problem other anime adaptations suffer. It is that is rushing. They rushed the story as far as I can remember. A lot of people were extremely mad in what season was it, 3 or 4, I don't remember. The whole season where they reveal Origami's true nature, and like her past, and her whole situation, and they bring in like a plot twist, if you remember. That season, I remember a lot of people were pissed at that season. They were like, what the hell is this? How as far as I've heard, they've rushed it extremely. And so like, I'm assuming the novel is way better than the anime does a job of. So yeah, but personally I do like Data Life. It's nice. I like it. But I wouldn't put it on my top list though. But yeah, okay. And next is No Game No Life. Again, I've only watched the anime, the first season. The novel is there. I don't know if the, like, here's the thing. The only reason why No Game No Life hasn't gotten a sequel is something, I think, as far as I've heard, is that they had a problem with like the author, like, they had like some kind of a technical, like, a problem, like they went like they fell into some kind of a, like a scandal, not scandal I would say, but something like, like about like the like, something. I don't really remember properly what it was, but I remember a lot of people saying it's probably because of that we're never getting a season 2. But like I said, it's 2024. A lot of season shows are getting like a sudden revival. So who knows? Maybe No Game No Life will get one. Season 1 was okay. Was quite good, I would say. I wouldn't really put it on my top list though, but it's okay. And I can see you've put it under novels. So novel, isn't it? Yeah. So I don't really, I haven't read a novel, so I cannot really say. But yeah, I could see No Game No Life being here. Next we have this one. Like, I remember watching the anime only, but you've put it under novel. What is it called? Problem Children Are Coming from Another World. I don't remember anything, honestly speaking, about this. I just remember kind of seeing it back when I watched, like the very first few animes that I watched. I think I kind of watched it a little bit. Not a little bit, I think watched the whole anime, but I remember nothing about it. Unfortunately, I cannot really say anything. But I have heard a few people praising the light novel, so maybe it's good. I don't know. Okay, what is this? Infinite Dendrogram. I have no idea what I have heard the name though, but I have no idea. Let me check. Infinite Dendrogram. Here it is. Where is the synopsis? I'm going to read the synopsis. Okay, it has a 6. The anime has a 6 rating. However, the main thing is like the light novel, because you put in the light novel. So let me see how much the light novel got, the rating. 7.5, which is decent. So that means the anime messed up, I'm assuming. In the year 2043, Infinite Dendrogram, the world's fast successful full-drive VR MMO, was released. In addition to its ability to perfectly stimulate 5 senses along with its other amazing features, the game promised to offer players a world full of infinite possibilities. Nearly 2 years later, soon to be college freshman Reiji Mukudori finally able to buy a copy of the game and start playing. With some help of his experienced older brother Shu and his partner Embryo, Reiji embarks on an adventure into the world of Infinite Dendrogram. Just what will they discover in this encounter of game? encounter in this game world known for its incredible realism and infinite possibilities. So yeah, I cannot really say anything, but I haven't watched it. But you have put in the novel. I can see the novel has a decent enough rating, 7.5. But the fact that the anime has 6.1 rating makes me realize that the anime probably messed up. You know, adaptation problems and stuff, I'm assuming. So yeah, I cannot really say anything. Again, Campion. Ah boy, I remember watching Campion again when I started watching anime. I I only remember watching it. I don't really remember anything else. There's another thing I remember that, like, obviously it was like a harem type of show. I do remember that though, but it had like something to do with like, was it like like the star signs or something? I don't really remember. Something like that it was. I remember nothing about it. But I think you've put it under yeah, novel again. You know what? I'm just gonna do a quick search. How much the novel got? The rating in my anime list. Campion. Um, the anime has a 6.9 rating. However, let me look at the light novel. 7.8, which is actually quite good. Damn. 7.8 is quite good. It's like almost 8. Okay. I'm guessing the novel is good then. I don't know. I have no idea. Again. And then we have Parallel World. No, what is this? Yeah, Deathmatch Parallel World Rhapsody. Oh my god, what a. You love a lot of isekai fantasy shows. I can see that. But Parallel World Rhapsody, Parallel World Rhapsody. I do remember the anime didn't really get a good rating, but let's look at the novel because all of these you've put are novels. In the anime, it has got 6.4, which is very bad. However, the novel again has 7.5. Yeah, so I'm assuming all these animes suffer from adaptation issues. Like, because the whole score drops by 1 or 2 points, I can see. So yeah, again, I cannot really say anything about. No, if you've put all of this under anime, I probably would be like, no. So it's tricky. You have put all of these under novels, so I cannot really say anything. If these were put under animes, I would have instantly been like, no, I don't accept it. But since you put it under novels, I cannot really say anything because, who knows. Um, right. Next is manga, One Punch Man. You know what? I can appreciate a One Punch Man here. I do know One Punch Man is absolutely fantastic, the manga, and I'm actually very much excited for the anime, the sequel as well. So, I can accept a good One Punch Man. And oh my god, and One Punch Man's manga, like, sketches, the illustrations are just chef's kiss. Like, absolutely fantastic. I think Murata, that's his name, who draws One Punch Man manga. Oh my god, it's one of the most beautiful arts I've ever seen. So yeah, yes, definitely. Fate Stay Night visual novel. I'm guessing visual novel. Yeah, no, yeah, visual novel. Yeah, yep. I already said this in the previous ones as well. Yeah, I can appreciate and accept a good Fate Stay Night. Elden Ring. I wasn't expecting you to put Elden Ring in here. Like, have you played Elden Ring? Like, so, because I've never thought that like, at least as to my knowledge, I didn't know you played video games, like PC video games. So interesting. Yeah, so yeah, definitely I can accept Elden Ring over here, definitely. And then we have Fate Grand Order. Yeah, definitely I can accept Fate Grand Order. I've talked about it before in my other videos as well. And then we have Toho, Lost World. I haven't played Toho. Cannot really say, but I do know it's quite popular. A lot of people love Toho. So yeah. So there you go. You know what? Your list is a lot better than I expected, because I remember seeing your list back when I did another one of these videos, and I was like, nah. But this list is way better than I expected, and I thought you would have put. So you know what? Good. I can see that, like, there's few things that I can really accept over here. But the thing is, where should I put you? That's the thing. Let me check. Hmm. One, two. I'm sorry, even though your list was so much better than the other time. No, you know what? Okay, let me check it properly. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, like I said, even though your list was way better than the last time, I have to put you at the end for now, at least. Excuse me. Because there's so many of these which I definitely like, and I said that yeah, this is good, but there's a lot of them which I would never really put it on my list. So comparing it to that, for now you'll be here at the bottom. But you know what? Like I said, this list is way better than the other one that you made in the previous video that I made. So that's actually quite good, and because this has quite a few of them that I'm like, okay, you know what, I can appreciate this. So good job, actually. Like, yeah. Okay, nice. But I feel like obviously I can see the whole bias here for like isekai, type shows. Yeah, there are quite a few good isekais, obviously. But I feel like you need to try to, like, watch a little bit of a different genre now and then, because I'm sure you like it. You know, like a lot of these shows that have been, like in this list, you can see that I have been talking about. You might actually like it if you watch these shows here and there. Like, like just try it, give it a little bit of try, maybe you'll enjoy it. Because like, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of these shows that we have been discussing about here, it has such a great story. Like, you really like a few, like for example Bleach, for example, like I said, Bleach. What else? One Punch Man. All of these shows are, they're like actually like story driven in a way, if you think about it. One Piece as well, obviously you like One Piece. So I'm definitely sure you like a few of the other shows that we have been talking about here, that I'm like, discussing and everything, if you watch them. So just, I don't know, like just give it a try. Who knows? Like, you'll probably be surprised how much you like them. Like, I can see you like tend more towards like the isekai type of stories, but just, a little bit of palette change. Maybe you'll enjoy it. Right. Okay, the next person. Yui Yu. Okay, let me read it first. Anime, Card Captor Sakura, Mob Psycho, 100, Baka Test Shokanju, Hentai Prince and the Stony Cat, Toradora, okay, Kaguya-sama, Fate Zero, My Hero, Academia, Pokemon Horizons, Light Novel No Game No Life, Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, Konosuba, okay, Manga, Card Captor Sakura, Clear Card, Fate Calendar Liner Prisma Elia, Ranger Reject. Oh, Ranger Reject, the new show, isn't it? Like the Loser Ranger, I think. Yeah, I still haven't watched it though. I will watch it. I have it in my head. Kaiji. Oh, Kaiji. Okay. Dragon Ball, Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, One Punch Man, Isekai Oji-san. Games, runs. Oh, I remember you. I remember you from as soon as I see runs, I'm like, I remember you. I exactly know who you are. Boy, and even in the previous video that I made. But you know what? Runs 10, I would be like, okay, you know what? It's fine. If you put like runs 1 or 2 or something, it's still, but the few things that happens in runs is absolutely crazy. So, but runs 10, I can see that, I guess. I myself haven't really played it, but I do know how the whole story goes, kind of. So, okay, the decisive battle. What is this? Oh, Ronston, the decisive battle. Okay. Monster Girl quest. Wait, is this really that Monster Girl quest? You know what? Good choice, actually. I feel like this is Monster Girl. Yeah, wait a minute. Let me check. Yeah, you know what? This is a very, I guess you could say, like a lot of people doesn't really know about it. Okay, I'll talk about it. Dragon Quest 5. Okay. I'll talk about Monster Girl Quest when it comes to that. Okay. Right. Okay, the first one is Cardcaptor Sakura. Okay, I think this is anime. Yeah, Cardcaptor Sakura. I have watched Cardcaptor Sakura. I don't remember anything about it though. Yeah, but I do remember I really like Cardcaptor Sakura. Uh, I was a bit, like indecisive about whether I should watch it or not because I've heard a lot of good things about Cardcaptor Sakura, but I thought that like I probably wouldn't like it because it's like a like a proper Maho Shoujo type of show. Like the only Maho Shoujo type of shows I've seen is like Madoka Magica, which is not really like that. It goes way crazier. So a proper Maho Shoujo show, I was like, will I even like it or not? I watched it and I kind of enjoyed it. It was okay. I liked it. But I do know Cardcaptor Sakura is extremely popular amongst a lot of other people, and it is like top tier for a lot of other people and everything. So yeah, good. I can see Cardcaptor Sakura being here. Next is Mob Psycho. Yeah, obviously 100%. I agree with it. I've talked about Mob Psycho, I think like at least 5 to 4 times after before this. Yeah, I can accept it. Okay, Baka Testo Kanju. This one, I watched the anime. It was actually quite good. I do remember it. Okay, you have put the anime or like the novel or something? Anime. So it has 2 seasons only, which is unfortunate because I do remember the comedy was quite on point. I remember the comedy was actually quite good. I really laughed out loud when I watched this. I remember that when I watched it, and it has a very interesting type of a story where I do remember that the characters are in like classrooms and they using their summoned like they summon like little chibi versions of themselves and they battle out against each other based on how good they know a certain subject or something. For example, a person is really good at, I don't know, like English or something, so their someone like little chibi thing will, if they're put in like an English battle against another, they're like very strong and they can easily defeat them, something like that. I remember the main character gets put into like the F class or something like that, where they are like the weakest one, and it has like a whole ranking system. If you can defeat another class, you can go up, take that class, and kind of like Classroom of the Elite, if you think about it like that. If you defeat a class, you can like get a rank up. And I do remember in his class had this girl here who was actually very good, but I remember she missed one of the tests or something because she was sick or something. That's why she got put in like the F class. Like it was quite interesting. It had a very unique type of story, and it was quite comedic as well. So what, I can it's nice. I barely even hear people talking about this. So it's interesting to see someone has it on the top list. So nice. Next we have Hentai Oji to Warawanai Neko. I watched this like when I started watching anime. It's one of my first few shows that I've watched. I don't remember anything about it though, that much. I do remember the girl was, I do remember the main theme of the show. Basically it was like the girl was inexpressive. No. Oh, yeah. I remember. I think like they kind of made like a prayer to like a shrine, and the guy became true to his like true to his instincts because of because of praying to something like that in a weird way, and she became extremely like stoic and stony faced, something like that. So it's in like I don't really remember much about it, but it was like a slice of life like rom-com type of show. I do remember that though. That's the only thing I remember. Yeah, but I cannot really say much about it because I don't really remember anything. But okay. And then we have Toradora. Yeah, I 100% agree with Toradora being here. A lot of people nowadays don't really know about Toradora, but it was one of my first shows that I watched. Not even one of my first rom-com. It was my first rom-com that I watched, and it has a like a special place in my heart. It's really good. The story is also quite good, and yeah, I love the characters in this show. It was this show was my introduction to rom-com, so I'll always appreciate Toradora in the list. So I can agree with this. Kaguya-sama, yeah, I can agree with Kaguya-sama. It's not on my top list though, but I can agree with Kaguya-sama being here. It's really good, you know. Yeah. So I think I talked about Kaguya-sama in one of the um, previous videos as well. So there you go. Next is Fate Zero. I think you put Fate Zero. Did you put? Let me check. Yes, Fate Zero. Okay, anime. Yeah. Okay, Fate Zero anime. Yeah. Again, I think I mentioned this before. It's not really on my list because Fate Zero style is way different from Fate Stay Night style. And the thing about Fate Zero is a lot of people love Fate Zero and don't like Fate Stay Night, and then we have a few people who doesn't like Fate Zero, like Fate Stay Night. I'm like in the middle of it. I don't really think much about Fate Zero. I wouldn't call it my favorite or anything. It has a few of the very good sections which I really liked. For example, I really liked the Banquet of the Kings where Gilgamesh, Iskandar, and all of them confronted each other. Like Iskandar destroying Artoria in a debate about what is true king. That part I absolutely loved. Then also we have that part where Kire, we get to know how Kire's origin, and his philosophy, how he looks at things, all these things. This were quite good. I really liked a few of these things. But overall, yeah, I wouldn't really put it on my top list though. But I can see it being in someone else's top list. Okay, just a sec, guys. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so yeah, that was Fate Zero. Now, next we have My Hero Academia. Anime. Right, My Hero Academia. I wouldn't really put it on my top list. I've said this before. I'm not really very keen on shonen animes, just because how they do it. And My Hero Academia is quite good, but it has a few things that I don't really like that much, and it's kind of but it's an okay show. I would probably say it's an okay show. It was quite good at the beginning. I do remember really enjoying it at the beginning, like first few seasons. Then I don't know, I feel like something happened and it just kind of went a little bit, if My Hero Academia, it's all well and good, obviously, but I'm personally wouldn't really put it on my top list. So yeah, next we have Pokemon. I think this is Horizons. I have no idea. I haven't really watched any Pokemon. It's wrong to say I haven't watched any Pokemon, because I remember watching Pokemon when it used to air on television. I used to watch a few of the seasons. The very first Pokemon, the beginning of Ash's journey, when he got Pikachu and he set off on his journey. Those things, I do remember watching those. And then I never really watched it again, and I have no clue about the current version or what's going on in Pokemon now, so I cannot really say anything about it. So yeah, next is No Game No Life. Okay, light novel. Okay, nice. Like I said, I talked about it in the previous video. I have no idea about how the novel is. The anime just barely got one season, and from one season I did kind of like it. But I'm guessing the light novel, obviously, since I'm sure it has a lot more stuff that happens after the first season ended in anime. Just from that, I'm assuming it's quite good and it gets better. So I cannot really say anything about this, but yeah, I can see No Game No Life being here. Next we have Mushoku Tensei, light novel. I'm guessing, yep. Okay, the fact this is light novel, and I myself love the anime, personally, I've put it on my list as well. And I've heard the light novel is even better than that, because a lot of people Mushoku Tensei, I think the adaptation is quite good compared to a lot of other adaptations that a lot of other, animes get. Classroom of the Elite, for example. So yeah, compared to that, I've heard that the adaptation is quite good, but it does skip quite a few things which I hear now and then from people in my comment section when I react to them, to the episodes, and I'm like, okay, and that it would have been nice if we got to see this adapted, but I guess time constraints and stuff and a few other stuff, complications, they never put those things in. But with those things in, I feel like Mushoku Tensei would even be better in my the way I look at it. So yeah, I can 100% agree with the light novel being here. Next we have ReZero. I talked about ReZero as well before. I really love the anime. and I think like the light novel is way ahead than the anime. I've heard a lot of things from a lot of people and saying how it gets better and better, so I can see the light novel for ReZero being here. So I can 100% agree with ReZero here. Konosuba, I love Konosuba, the anime, and especially the latest season I absolutely loved. But I have heard so many things about how the anime has skipped so many parts that would have made the experience even better. So I feel like the light novel definitely deserves to be here, because the light novel probably does a better job in like portraying everything and showing everything and putting out a better experience. So yeah, I can 100% agree. Just like ReZero's light novel, I can agree with Konosuba's light novel being here as well, even though I myself personally haven't read it. But I'm a big fan of the anime, so I can only imagine how good the light novel is. So yeah, I can agree with it. Card Captor Sakura, what is this? Manga, okay. Clear Card. I cannot really say anything. I haven't read it, so I've only watched the anime. That's all. I don't even remember much stuff about it. Next we have Prismalia Colored Liner. Oh, this is the manga. Okay. I haven't read the manga though. I've watched the anime, so I could say that yeah, I like the anime. At first, it was kind of weird, but then when it actually gets like a story, I think like from season 3, or was it season 4? 3, I think. I was like, okay, this is quite good. Nice. I liked it. And from that point onwards, I'm actually waiting for. I think there'll be another sequel for it, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'm waiting for more sequels of it. But I cannot really say anything about the manga. If it's like if the anime, I'm guessing it's something similar to how the anime goes. So yeah, there you go. Now I wouldn't put it on my top list though, but to be honest, I wouldn't put it on my top list. But I like it. I like the show. Okay, so next we have Loser Ranger, or I think it's called Ranger Reject in the manga. I cannot say anything about this because I haven't even gotten enough time to watch the anime. I will watch it though, I will definitely watch it. But if put in the manga, so I'm guessing, like you're not talking about the anime but the manga. And then again, like I said, I have no idea what the premise of this show in itself is about, so I can't really speak anything about it. So yeah, I'm going to avoid talking about this. That's just because of that. Then we have Kaiji. I think, yeah. Where is it? Yeah, Kaiji. I've heard a lot of good things about this. Personally, haven't read it. But just from the sheer amount of people that has praised this, I can accept it here. Because, like, you can understand, like, when you hear people talk about a show or something that you personally haven't read or watched, you can understand how good it is by the amount of praise that something gets. And I've heard all but praise about I've just heard praise, or about this manga, or I think it also has an anime, I think. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, next is Dragon Ball. Again, I've talked about this before. I have no idea about Dragon Ball. I haven't read the manga, I haven't watched the anime, so but just because it's so popular and it has such a, I do know it's quite good. I do understand. So there you go. Next is Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, I can 100% agree with Hunter x Hunter being here. Manga, yep. I've watched the anime and oh, it's absolutely fantastic. So 100% agree with Hunter x Hunter being here. Same with One Piece. I personally haven't watched it. Only 100 episodes at the beginning. And I've heard people praising the manga. A lot of people praise the anime as well. The fact that a lot of people say that the manga is better than the anime can make me imagine or understand how good the manga is. So yeah, I can agree with this one as well. One Punch Man, wait, a manga, all of these? Yeah. Up until Isekai Oji-san is a manga. One Punch Man, yes, 100% agree. Again, I talked about it before. Yeah, definitely. I'm waiting for the sequel. I'm very excited. So next is Isekai Oji-san, a manga. I watched the anime. It was really good. I really enjoyed the anime. So I'm guessing like the manga probably goes ahead of that, and so I'm actually really excited. Hopefully someday we get a season 2 for Isekai Oji-san, because it's quite entertaining. Like your uncle went to and to a different world, and he comes back and he's telling you the stories. and the uncle is a dense person, so dense that it's just it's absolutely frustrating. Yeah, so I do wonder which direction this story is going to take, because obviously the way the story went in the anime that I've watched is just like he comes back and he recounts his tale and he tells about his tale. Here and then, now and then, we do get a few of his powers to see now in this world, but I do wonder which direction the story is going to go. If the characters that he speaks about in the different world, if they're going to come in this world or something, like what's going to happen? Will this ever become a reverse isekai? I do wonder. I would kind of appreciate if something like that happens. So like it's just, I feel like it's just like like him just recounting his tale and telling what happened, and us just listening to it is just a little bit frustrating. I feel like if it somehow continues from there, it would be so much more like more entertaining. So I do wonder if they're going to take that direction in the future, if the characters that he talk about in the different world, if they follow him here in this world, something like that. But I don't know, I have no idea. I think there's a very low possibility of that happening, because I don't think it's ever going to take that direction. You know what? Again, I have no idea. We'll see, I guess. And I also haven't read the manga, so I cannot really say anything. Anyways, yeah, nice choice. Next is Ran's 10. Now, here's the thing. Ran's, oh god, what can I say? It's just, I feel like Ran's, with this social media and all that, if social media got to know what Rans is, I can only imagine the outrage. Oh my god, it's gonna be crazy. Like, like I'm pretty sure everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people knows what the whole Rans, like the thing is. But I have no idea about what happens in 10. I do remember playing like the first 5 runs, and then I didn't really have enough time to invest in it, so I just stopped playing it. But I think, as far as I know, I don't know, I think runs gets better in the future, doesn't it? I have no idea though. I really have no idea. He still has that weird type of like that whole thing, but I think in 10 he become a lot, like, I guess it probably becomes way more like story, like like it always had a story, I guess, but it becomes way more serious, as far as I know. Then again, I have no idea. I haven't really played up. I've played up until 5, and I barely even remember anything what I played. But yeah, because it's 10, I have no idea about it. I'm not going to speak about it. But I wouldn't really put Rans on my top list. But as a JRPG, I'm going to say this: Rans is a solid JRPG, especially the latest few. Like I think like 1, 2, 3 was quite good. 4, 5 was also quite good. I do remember. But then I think like 6, then 7, like Sengoku Rans comes in after that. From that point onwards, the game becomes even better and better. It's extremely, I would say, like, it's very complicated, but it's so, I don't know how to call it, but it's so worth it. Like, one thing I can really appreciate about Rans is the way the JRPG and the way they do the gameplay is absolutely fantastic. There's so many things to go through, and in visual novels and like eroges and stuff, RPG elements are there in a lot of the things, but a few of the like titles can nail the RPG aspect of it. I remember Rans being one of them, and a few other I also remember. Another one, I'm sure from the looks of it, you probably play visual novel games and eroges. Usually games, they have like a very solid foundation, and that RPG most of the time in most of the games is extremely detailed and is very entertaining. I remember playing Kamitori Alchemy Meister, and then a few of the others. I don't really remember the names. A few of the other, I forgot the names of it. And those ones have like such a like there's so many things you can do in it. As an RPG games, I remember Kamidori Alchemy Master took me at least like 50 or 60 hours to properly do it. And then there's New Game Plus, which even expands the story more. So I remember Kamidori Alchemy Master in itself is at least like 100+ hours game. You know, how detailed it is. As far as I remember, Rance was also like that, especially like Sengoku Rance from that point onwards. You know, I never got the time. Like that's why I stopped playing it, because I knew that I would never get that amount of time to invest in it. You know, like it takes so long. But it's solid. The gameplay is absolutely solid. I can appreciate the gameplay so much. So yeah, so that's Rance. Next we have Monster Hunter, Monster Girl Quest, Monmusu. You know, this one is it's actually I guess in like visual novel and JRPG players, this is quite popular within them. Um, I actually really liked it. It is a bit of a weird game, you would say. I wouldn't really say anything about it here because you know it's a bit weird. But by the end of it, I you know, like there was a very interesting story that comes by the end of it, at the ending, and it actually gets, like, the story actually becomes very good. And I do remember playing up until the end of it, and I was pleasantly surprised by the direction that it took. And by the end of it, after completing it, I was like, wow, this was a nice game. The gameplay though is extremely basic. It's like one of the previous JRPG type, you know, like fight, like, you know, magic, defend, flee, that kind of thing. You unlock more powers the more characters you know, like meet, and you know, like all that stuff. And yeah, by the end of it you get extremely strong, that kind of thing. It's very basic RPGs style, but the story gets quite good in the end, and I personally really liked it. I feel like the reason I liked it so much is probably because I never expecting the story to take that direction. I came with an expectation, with a certain expectation, and it did go in that direction for a while, but then it took a like hard turn, and I wasn't expecting any of that. So it pleasantly surprised me. That's probably why it's so like, you know, it's just ingrained in my brain. So yeah, you know what, nice. I wouldn't really put it on my top list though, but you know, still I can appreciate it. Then we have Dragon Quest 5. I have no idea. I haven't played Dragon Quest. I do know about it though, you know, but I haven't really played it, so I cannot really say. And that was this list. There was quite a few good ones, you know. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you know what? I am going to put you. Mm, 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 mm. Just a minute, guys. Let me go back up again. No, I cannot put you above Manehiro. I'm sorry. I will have to put below Manehiro. You are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8th position you're currently in. Yeah. So it was a good list, but you know, there's, yeah, it had a few very good inclusions. So nice. All right. Next and the final person submission of this list, Hikaru. And okay, I'm just going to read this first. One Piece manga, I ain't dying until I see it though. Through, okay, Kaguya-sama anime, Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime light novel, Classroom of Daily light novel, never do an anime adaptation again. I agree 100%. Never do an anime adaptation. The way it butchered the whole thing. Honkai Star Rail game, Akame ga Kill anime. Anime, oh, that's interesting. Every person I talk to, I hear them saying how the manga is so much better. So okay, I personally agree as well. Anime was good, but manga is way better. Maybe you haven't read the manga. I have no idea. Anyways, Jujutsu Kaisen anime slash manga Nightwind. Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood anime, okay. Oshinoko anime slash manga, okay. Naruto anime, right? Gurren Lagann anime, okay. Noragami anime, okay. Rurouni Kenshin anime. What writer did was unforgivable, but this is still peak. I have no idea. I've only watched the. I'm only watching like the remake, so I have no idea what the author did, the writer did. But I'm guessing you're talking about the older Rurouni Kenshin, so I cannot really say anything. Hellsing Ultimate anime. Okay, 20th Century Boys manga, anime adaptation when? Fate Zero anime. Zero, okay. The only on my fate on my list. Alia sometimes Roshidere light novel. Or Taxi, wow, anime. Black Clover anime slash manga. Blue Lock anime slash manga. Blue Box manga, okay. Apothecary Diaries anime slash manga. Code Geass, best ending ever until the okay, I cannot really speak about it. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime. I swear I'm strict. Alright. Okay, let me go through them one by one. One Piece, every single person has One Piece in their list, so I'm not going to even speak about it. I accept it, obviously. Kaguya-sama, wait, I think anime and manga you said? No, only anime, okay. Yeah, again, I can agree with Kaguya-sama being here. 100% agree with it. It's a solid romance show. I haven't really put it on my list though, but it's really nearly close. Like, I have a few romance anime in my list, top tier ones, a few of them. And just below them is Kaguya-sama. So, it's pretty damn high in my list. So, yeah. Then we have... wait a minute. Oh, also another thing. I guess you can probably appreciate Kaguya-sama more because I think you've read the whole manga, I'm assuming. So, that's probably why you can appreciate it even more. Because I do know, this is the thing. When someone watches a show, if you're able to watch it up until the end, you get a new type of appreciation for it. Like that kind of thing. So obviously I've only watched the anime up until a certain part, and you've watched the whole thing, read the whole thing, I'm assuming. So because of that, I guess your appreciation will my appreciation will probably grow for this show after the anime gets a whole adaptation and I watch the full thing. So that kind of thing. Okay, next is Slime light novel. You've mentioned the light novel. I cannot say anything about the light novel, but I love the anime. Absolutely amazing. I still haven't watched the latest season though. I will watch it. I usually wait for it to end to binge watch it. My only, I guess you could say, regret you would say is that I never reacted to Slime. Because when I started reacting to anime, I think like 2 seasons have already been covered, and it started from the 3rd season. So I was like, at this point, yeah, and I didn't even really have the time to react to Slime as well. But it's a very solid show. I do agree it being here. I wouldn't really put it on my top list though. So, that's the thing. But yeah, I do like it. Classroom of the Elite. Oh my god. Like, I feel like I probably couldn't appreciate this show enough. The appreciation that it deserves. Just because I'm an anime only watcher. Because I know I've heard, this is the thing. There are a few shows which does a few, oopsies, like, oh, oops, didn't adapt this part, unfortunate, and you're like, okay, it's fine, I guess. Like I said, like Mushoku Tensei, for example. I've seen a few people complain about how they didn't really adapt this part, that part, but it's very minimal. Classroom of the Elite, I remember every single episode in the reaction, in the comment section, everyone was like, this part is skipped. They completely skipped the whole ass section like this chunk of thing. And the amount of skipping that I realized that the anime is doing, I was like, what is going on? Like, what are they doing? They're like literally I don't know, they're like taking out all the stuff and just serving you like plain salad or something like that. With everything, all the seasonings and everything in it, it probably would have been a really good thing. But they never. And you know what? I can understand budget constraints and all that. But come on, really? If you're doing an adaptation, do it properly, for the love of God. This is not 2010 or something, that anime is just like a medium of advertisement. It was like that back then, Anime was just a medium of advertisement for people to read the light novel or manga. So they just used to do a very sloppy job of doing it, adapting it. Back then, that was a thing. In 2024, really? What type of joke is this? I don't know, I haven't even read the light novel, I'm still pissed. And from hearing from other people how they butchered this show. So that's why I'm saying, probably couldn't appreciate it enough just because I have no idea. I've not read the light novel, but I feel like if I had read the light novel, this probably would have been on my top list. But just because of that, and just because how sloppily they're doing the adaptation, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, really. I absolutely hate how they're doing that. I hate when anime adaptations do this. Like, I personally do understand the feeling because a lot of visual novels that I played, they do a extremely sloppy job of adapting it, and that's why I can understand your feeling of frustration when they skip stuff. I can understand that. So yeah, so I feel like that's probably the reason why it's not on my top list. The anime is just bad. But you've read the light novel, and from what I've heard from the light novel, it's a very solid, like novel. So okay. Right. Next we have Honkai Star Rail. Now, here's the thing. Star Rail, it has a good story though. Obviously the game and everything is quite good. I wouldn't really put it on my top list because it's barely started. Like, come on, really? But I do know you go through the lores and everything. I feel like that's probably why you appreciate way more than a lot of other people who are very casual about it. I do know my fair share of Star Rail lore, but not to your degree. So that's probably why you appreciate it way more than I do. So you know what? Just because it's you, I can accept Star Rail in here. Just because it's you. If it was, it's like someone who reads or plays the game like me in a very shallow way, I would probably not accept it. But just because it's you, and I do know how much you know about the lore and everything, yeah, I can accept it. Next we have Akame ga Kill. Okay, here's the thing. You said anime, didn't you? Yeah, anime. So I don't know if you've read the manga. I have read the manga, and I will say this: manga is way better than the anime. They completely changed the anime's ending, and I don't know. I like the manga ending way more than the anime ending. And I do remember in the manga, there's a few things they completely changed in the anime. A certain person, how they die is completely changed in the anime. And when I read the manga, I was like, why did they not adapt it like this? This is way better than what the anime provided us. So there's a few sections like that. And I've heard a lot of other people also say the same thing. Like, the manga does a way better job than the anime. So even though the manga was quite good, I wouldn't really put it on my top list. But seeing that you have the anime in the top list is very intriguing because I didn't like the anime actually. Like, it was good, but after I read the manga, I was like, why did they do this to the anime? So I don't know. If you have read the manga and you still put the anime in, I'm very intrigued why, like why. But I'm just guessing that you didn't read the manga. That's probably why. Let me know if you have read the manga and you've still put the anime in here. I'm very curious why, because I don't know, I didn't like the anime. I liked the anime first, but then I read the manga and then I was like, no, the anime is no, not okay. The manga is way better. It happens like that. So that's just because of that. I wouldn't really put it though. Even the manga I wouldn't really put on my top list. But yeah, okay. I feel like another reason why Akame Kill is not on my top list is because I hate seeing characters die, especially like main characters, like main character, main supporting characters. So that also takes it out of my, yeah, it's not really my cup of tea in that sense. Okay, next we have Jujutsu Kaisen, obviously anime slash manga. Yeah, I can see Jujutsu Kaisen being here, but I personally, and no, I wouldn't really put it on my top list. You, however, have read the manga, so I don't know, maybe something crazy happens in manga in the future. But up until where I have watched the anime, it is a solid show, but I would probably never put it on my top list. I have a very peculiar checklist of shonen shows that I put on my top list, or which is capable of being on my top list. Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't fall in that. And like I said, I don't know if it will surprise me in the future. I don't know what happens in the manga. If it will surprise me, then I'm waiting to see. But it still really hasn't really surprised me. Yeah, there's a few really good parts of Jujutsu Kaisen I absolutely love. For example, what was the name? The Hidden Inventory arc. I feel like the Hidden Inventory arc was probably my most favorite part of Jujutsu Kaisen. And you know, the way they explained Gojo's power, and the way they show, like, you know, like all the other characters like Toji and all that, it was really good. I really enjoyed the Hidden Inventory arc so much that I feel like the normal anime pales in comparison to the Hidden Inventory arc. Like, it pales in comparison so much. I don't know why. It's just like that for me, at least. But still, it is quite a good show. You know, it's entertaining though. You know, in that department, I would definitely say that, yeah, it's good. But overall, I wouldn't really put it. But who knows? Like I said, who knows? It might surprise me. You know, I don't know what happens in the manga after this. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see in the anime when it gets a new adaptation. Not new adaptation, sorry, a sequel adaptation. Right. Then we have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I can 100% agree with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood being here. I myself personally do not remember much about it because I watched it quite a while ago. But I do remember when I watched Brotherhood, I was like, damn, I should have watched this even before. You know, why was I like, you know, the thing is, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, when I started watching anime, I think I started watching anime like 2000, was it, when was it, 13, I think, yeah, 2013 I started watching anime. And Full Metal Alchemist was all over the place back then. You know, it was like the most popular thing, and I kept it on my back, you know, like a back list over and over again, kept doing it up until I think 2016 or 17. That's when I watched it. Now 2016 and 17 is still quite a while ago, you know, so I don't really remember much about it. But when I watched Full Metal Alchemist, I was a bit late in watching it at that point of time. So then when I watched it, I was like, why did I keep it in my back of my list for so long? This is peak. This is amazing, you know. And yeah, so I just remember that feeling. So I do know how good it is, but I barely remember anything about the show because it's been quite a while. So yeah, I can agree with Full Metal Alchemist being here, Brotherhood being here. Next is Oshinoko. I've watched season 1. Season 2 is currently airing. Yeah, it's very good. I like it. I really like it. Wouldn't really put it on my top list though. Probably because it's barely one season. You know, like, come on, you need to give it time to cook. And you being a manga reader, I'm guessing you've watched, like, you know, a lot of the things that is going to happen after this. That's probably why it's on your list. Who knows? Maybe it'll rank up in my list as well as I keep watching the anime. Because, like I said, I don't really put shows, however good that they are, shows which are like long-running shows. I don't really put them on the top list after watching one season. I'll have to wait a little bit. Like, you know, if Oshinoko had like 3 seasons, probably I would be able to properly judge it. Cannot judge it with one season only. But since you've read the manga, I'm assuming that's why you've put it in here. So yeah, yeah, I can see it being here, but I won't really put it on my top list for now. Okay, Naruto. Okay. Yeah, I can agree with Naruto being here. I don't have it on my list though, but like I said, Naruto is I'm heavily biased towards Naruto because obviously nostalgia, you know, that's number 1. And number 2 is that, again, I've said this before, shonen, there's a few particular shonen shows that I like. Naruto is one of them. And, you know, it has a few things that I really enjoy in a shonen show that a lot of the modern shonen shows haven't been able to provide to me. That's why a lot of the modern shonen shows are never in my top list, but Naruto is there. It has a few things that I really appreciate. Just like Bleach, you know, it has so many things that I really appreciate. So modern shonen shows, it doesn't, you know, I don't know, it doesn't scratch that itch in me, that particular thing. So those are never there. I'm entertained by it, but that doesn't mean I like it or I really enjoy the story. I'm entertained by it. The modern shonen shows, Naruto, and Bleach and the other, like, you know, I was entertained by it, and at the same time I enjoyed the whole, like, you know, setting the story and everything, the whole thing that was going on as well. So, you know, Naruto definitely, and like I said, nostalgia bias as well. You know, I can agree with Naruto 100%. Like, I feel like I can say that I grew up with Naruto. I'm sure a lot of people have grown up with Naruto. So yeah. Next is Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. I said this in the previous, like list, but I have watched it. It was okay for me. I wouldn't really put it on my top list. But yeah, it does have quite a few really good quotes though. I'll never forget, like that one quote, "Believe in me who believes in you," something like that. Yeah, that's one of the most quoted quotes I've ever heard in anime. I myself use it now and then. Believe in me who believes in you. That's such a great quote. That quote oozes, I don't know, like I like something, I don't know, it's just it has that oomph to it, or whatever you call it. So yeah, it has some really good quotes and really memorable moments, but I wouldn't really put it on my top list. It was good though, but yeah, there you go. And then we have Noragami. Wait, Noragami, is it manga or anime? Anime, okay. Yeah, I have watched the anime. It's okay. I liked it. It was good. Again, I wouldn't really put it on my top list though. Yeah, it was okay for me. Maybe a bit above okay, like better than okay. Like above average, I would say. So, but it doesn't really isn't really like that it didn't really catch my fancy that much that I would put it on my top list. But yeah, it's okay. It's above average. So right. Next we have Rurouni Kenshin. Again, I have no idea what you're talking about here. What writer did was unforgivable, but this is still peak because I haven't watched the previous Rurouni Kenshin. I'm watching the new one, and I like the new one. I really do like it. It's, I don't know what to say, but it's very, like Rurouni Kenshin gives me the same vibe that, not the same vibe, I would say. No, not the whole show, but the main character gives me the same vibe as Thorfinn from Vinland Saga. The whole, like cool, calm, like like that type of style. That whole thing. Thorfinn is a bit too extreme, I feel like nowadays, but he, like Kenshin, he gives me kind of like the same vibe, and I really like those type of things. Like it's very badass, like a character who can keep his calm and cool, and who, who shows their true, true like self when needed. I really love that. So and the cast of characters are also quite good. I really like them. It's, yeah, I like the recent one. I haven't watched the previous one though, so that's why I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what the author did, but for now I'm entertained. I won't really put it on my top list because it's barely, I've just barely watched the first season. It is going to get another season, so but yeah. Okay, then we have Hellsing Ultimate. Yeah, anime. Okay, I think I watched it. I forgot everything. Way back I watched it. Barely remember it. I do remember the characters though, but I feel like it wasn't really up my alley. I feel like a lot of people likes these type of shows. It wasn't really up my alley. So but I can appreciate, I can understand a lot why a lot of people love this type of a show. And I do remember, like, the animation and everything was absolutely insane. I do remember a few of the scenes. It's just crazily done, and yeah, I can see the charm in it, but I never really liked it enough to put it on my top list, and I've forgotten most of the things as well, so that's also another reason, I guess. Okay, 20th Century Boys. Funny thing, I've always wanted to read this. I actually never got the time to. I think it's quite a big manga. I do have it on my list, one of the mangas that I want to read. I will probably read it, when I get enough time. I've heard all but praises about this, so it's there on my list. So I cannot really say anything now, but who knows? In the future, I will probably read this. So that's the thing. Right. Next we have Fate Zero. Is it? Wait a minute. Yeah, Fate Zero anime. The only Fate on my list. So here's the thing. Like I said, this is the thing. I was just talking about this a few, like moments ago. Like, Fate is very interesting. We have Fate Zero, and then we have Fate Stay Night. I know a few people who loves Fate Stay Night, doesn't like Fate Zero. Few people who only love Fate Zero, doesn't like Fate Stay Night. Like, this is like the thing about like Fate fans. I've seen this. And I'm in the middle. I like both of them, I do prefer Fate Stay Night a bit more than Fate Zero. You know, there's a few parts in Fate Zero that I absolutely love. I think I just talked about this immediately, like a few moments ago only. The King's Banquet, like a few other things like Kide's section, the Kide and Kiritsugu's battle, all those stuff. There's a few particular sections I absolutely adore about Fate Zero. I love, like, the top scene of Fate Zero is obviously Iskander, Gilgamesh, and Artoria sitting down talking about what a king is, and Iskander schooling Artoria in what a true king is, and Artoria is like, was I wrong? what have I been doing up until now? That part is like, I'll never forget that scene. Like, that's like one of the top tier moments in anime I've ever seen. That is why I have my really good like experiences with Fate Zero. But overall I do prefer Fate Stay Night a little bit more. But yeah, I can see Fate Zero being here, so I can agree with this 100%. Okay, next is Alia or Roshidere. Where is it? Yeah. Now, wait. Oh, I just forgot to see. I'm pretty sure you've put in light novel. Yeah, light novel. Again, I've just started watching the anime. 2 episodes I've only watched. I cannot say anything about this. But, the only 2 episodes I've watched in the anime was pretty good. Especially the second episode. It brought in a twist which I was not expecting at all. And I was like, whoa, what the hell? This quickly? Like a twist like this? What is going on? So I actually have high expectations for it just because of episode 2, how they put on that twist. I'm like, wow, if we're getting twists like this in the first 2 episodes, I can only imagine what's going to happen in the future. So I have actually high expectations. And you know what? This thing is completely up my alley. It's like a slice of life rom-com type of show. I love these things. So, yeah, I can see this being probably in my top list in the future. But now I barely started, so I cannot really say anything, unfortunately. But yeah. Next I have Odd Taxi. You know what? I agree with Odd Taxi. I haven't really put it on my list. It's one of those shows. I mentioned this before. There's a few shows that I didn't really put because I didn't have enough space on my list. And but I have, like, I'm very fond of them. So when I see those shows in someone else's list, I can really appreciate it. This is one of those shows, Odd Taxi. It's really good. I kind of forgot quite a few things about it. I myself reacted to Odd Taxi as well. And oh my god, it was a roller coaster of emotions. Absolutely insane twists and turns we get to see. And especially the way the whole thing ended, the very ending episode, it's just crazy. You're just flabbergasted the way things go. And oh boy, this is a very fond memory for me. And I can 100% agree with this being here. Next we have Black Clover. You know what's weird about Black Clover? I started watching it and it was one of those shows that I really didn't enjoy. It was like those generic shonen shows, kind of like that. And just like how I don't really like a lot of the modern shonen, I wouldn't call it not like. I think it's really doing it disservice to say that I don't like these. Like I said, I like the modern shonen shows, but it's just because of the entertainment value. Story-wise, I'm not a big fan of them. Neither My Hero Academia, nor Jujutsu Kaisen, nor a few of the others that we see, nowadays. But Black Clover was there in that list at the beginning. Then I kept watching it. I love Black Clover now, especially the way it went in the the final part of the anime. I haven't read the manga though. I'm just waiting for the anime to come back. I don't know when are they going to do that. Like, come on. I feel like it's a long enough wait you've got. There's a lot of source material left to be adapted as far as I know. So please come back, man. Like, really? Like, how long does it take? Like, I don't know. Like, when the show comes back, I'm obviously going to react to it. Like, Black Clover is definitely one of my most, I'm most fond of one of my most favorite modern shonen shows. And I absolutely loved it, especially the final few sections, with, which part was it? When the whole elf situation starts, starts coming up. From that point onward, I absolutely loved Black Clover from that point onward. And obviously, the recent where the anime ended, that part. It's so memorable. I'm the type of guy who forgets everything after 2 days or something like that. It's so memorable that even after so long, after watching the anime, I still remember a lot of the things in Black Clover. It's that memorable to me. So yeah, I can 100% agree with Black Clover being here. Yeah, I can agree with it. Next is Blue Lock. Now, I think you've probably put in the manga. Oh, anime slash manga. Completely honest about this, I don't like sports animes. I knew that I know that people say that, oh, this isn't really sports anime, this isn't really football. It's way more than that. It's like shonen type. So I gave it a try. I didn't like it. Even after like 10 or 12 episodes I watched it, I didn't really like it because I realized the direction this is going. Obviously, it's a shonen show, but like I said, in shonen shows as well, there's a few things I'm very picky about. And even in shonen wise, like it didn't really appeal to me. And obviously, like football sports wise, I don't really like sports shows. So overall, like I was kind of betting on the fact that, oh, maybe if the shonen part was more up my alley, maybe I would like it. But it failed in that department as well. So it's not for me. I know Blue Lock is extremely popular among a lot of people, and I can appreciate that, and I can say that, yeah, you know what, good for you, but this show is not for me. I do know that. I do know that this show or this manga is really not for me. It never really appealed to me at all, even after I gave it a try. So unfortunately, yeah, it's not in my list. But I do know you love Blue Lock, so there you go. I can it's just not my cup of tea, I guess. So yeah, next is, wait, what is this? Oh, Blue Box. You've actually hyped this up for me a lot. I remember you talking about this a lot and saying how good it is. I'm waiting for the anime. It is going to get an anime, I think. So I'm eagerly waiting for the anime to see what this is about. So let's see. Let's wait and see. I can't really say anything about this, but you have hyped it up for me, so I'm looking forward to this when the anime comes. Next is Apothecary Diaries. If I had one more slot extra, it was 25, 5 into 5. If I had 26, I would have put this. It's just so close for me to putting this Apothecary Diaries on my list. I was never able to because I didn't have enough space. Is that I love this show. I don't know why. I myself read the manga, but I never got attracted to the manga that much. I remember reading the manga and I was like, okay, this seems interesting and this is quite good, and that's it. That was the impression that it had in my head. And with that impression, I started watching the anime and I was like, okay, I would probably be mildly entertained by it, and that would be it. And I watched the whole damn thing, the 24 episode. I was mind blown. I was like, why did I never get the same feeling when I read the manga? When I read it. Like, I don't know what to say. I cannot stop singing praises about this show. This show is absolutely fantastic. It's such a shame I didn't get enough time to react to it. I don't know if I will be reacting to season 2. If I get enough time, even though I haven't reacted to season 1, I will probably react to season 2 if I get enough time. I will try my best because there's a few shows here and there which I don't really react to, and this is the thing. Like I said, in my head, the manga, I was mildly entertained by it, so I didn't even think about reacting to it because I was like, okay, I probably wouldn't really enjoy it as much as I would want to, so I don't need to react to this. But then I watched it and I'm like, why did I not react to this? This is so good. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. Again, like I said, I cannot stop singing praises of it. If this had like 24 slots in it, this would be in my list. It had 25 slots only, unfortunately. Just because of that. Yeah, I can 100% agree with this being here. And like I said, I might actually react to season 2. I don't know. I'm still regretting I didn't react to season 1. Anyways, yeah, so 100% agree with that. Then we have Code Geass, as you have written here. Best ending ever until the Resurrection movie released. So I have no idea what you're talking about. I've heard Code Geass is amazing. I have personally not watched it, so I cannot really say anything. But yeah, there you go. Next we have Dr. Stone, I think. Yeah, anime slash manga. Like Doctor Stone is good, but I still haven't read like the latest few seasons. I'm actually waiting for like a few other seasons to come back. Then I'm going to like rewatch the whole thing again. Because I've forgotten a lot of the things from the beginning as well. It's quite good, but I wouldn't really put it on my top list. It's quite good. It's like a 8 out of 10 for me. Like most of the animes and mangas slash the other things that I've put on my list are like 9 or 9.5. Doctor Stone is an 8 for me. So just because of that. Yeah, but it's quite good. I do like it very much. I've forgotten a lot of things. Like I said, I need to rewatch it again. Yeah, and then we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't know if this is like a particular one for you or like the whole JoJo series as a whole. Like for example, for me, like Monogatari is like that. Like it's not really a particular season. I love Monogatari as a whole. Like yeah, there is few one I appreciate more, but every single season I appreciate it. So I've put Monogatari as a whole. That's why. So I don't know if that's if JoJo's like that for you, if you particularly like a particular season. For me it would probably be the season that I really like. It probably will be season 5, like obviously, like what else. I did like the final part of season 3 as well, and season 4 was okay for me. Okay, season 1 I didn't really like. Season 2 was again okay for me. And season 5 is the top in my list, and season 6 is really good. It's like above average. So if I had to like rank all the season, I would probably put season 5 first, then I would put season 3 the final part, then I would put season 6, and then I would put season 3 part 1, season 2, no, season 4, season 2, season 1 at the end. Something like that I would put. JoJo for me at least. Right. And if we get another, I'm sure we'll get another sequel, which will be season 7. I've heard a lot of people say season 7 is the best, so I'm really looking forward to that when that's going to happen. But yeah, I can agree JoJo being here. It's a very good show. Absolutely fantastic. I myself, I'm a very late, like a late person who came into JoJo, like a newcomer, you would say. Like it was like very recently, like that I completed JoJo, and then I started reacting. Like I completed it myself, and then I started reacting to season 6 immediately. That's how it went. But I really do like it. So yeah, there you go. Okay, very good list. Really good. Let me count. Wait a minute. Let me just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, quite a very good list. All right, let me see. Oh, not this. Wait a minute. You know what? This is a very tricky one. I was thinking whether I'm going to put you above Attila or under Attila. You have more shows that I like, more than Attila, but I cannot put you above Attila. You know why? Because Attila has a few of the shows that I absolutely adore from the bottom of my heart. But for example, Monogatari, Oregairu. Then we have The Walking Dead, the games as well. Like the Telltale Walking Dead, Nier Automata, Steins Gate. What else? Like these shows I adore from the bottom of my heart. And even though Attila has lesser shows that I like compared to you, I cannot put you above Attila, because like the quality of the shows that has Attila put, in my book at least, is way higher. So quality won against quantity, basically, something like that. So you're below Attila, unfortunately. Okay, let me write it. So currently you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth. You're fifth. So okay, wait, and I'll end it today. Wait a minute, let me count. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Right, 11 people, 12 if I include mine. I've already reacted to mine as well, or talked about mine. I obviously I haven't put myself in the ranking, so you know, so 11 people, that's why. You are fifth, and there are how many more left? One, two, three more left after this, which I'll be able to complete in the next video. Right, yeah, there you go. Wait a minute, just a second, let me check one thing first. You know what, now I'm like, you know, doing this. I think in the final video I'll make like a recheck of all the ranking, because there's so many of them. I feel like I need to recheck a few of them and properly see where I've put them. So I might change the list here and there in the very final video. I will probably do it. So you know what, this isn't really the final one. So there's a possibility you might go up or down. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, yeah, so for now you are fifth. So Zenon is still winning. Then we have Wenli. Then we have T, Attila, Hikaru, Meluko, Susan Kazura, Marihiro, Yu, Lin, and Sruthin. So I feel like this might change a little bit here and there. The final video I'll make, and then I'll recheck everything, and I'll rearrange stuff when needed, you know. So there you go, and there you go, guys. That is it. That was for today. Today had a very, like, you know, quite a few solid, like, you know, like additions in this submission list. So yeah, next video will be the final one. 3 more people left, and then I'll recheck everything and remake the current ranking and see if this one is okay, or should I need to make changes in that. So that is it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with another video in, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days maybe, again when I get time, you know, kind of like how I'm doing. Like 2 or 3 days later, I'll probably bring out another video, and which will be the final one. So yeah, see you guys then. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.